because that is the only opportunity that you will decide on the leader that God has given to you. I therefore, on this note, will inform the public and the people of NCD the grounds that I have raised, the issues that I have raised. We will regroup again with our stakeholders, our secret personals, and we will then conduct our elections. This, after this press conference, we will meet with Commissioner, and then we will try and set a date that is equivalent to our finance. But otherwise, let me address that we will do our poll on Friday. Friday.
Is it confirmed Friday that polling for NCD?
That Friday is now. We will give 2 days for this. My officers to regroup, and please, I encourage, do not interfere with my process, election process. Friday is the date that we will give, that we will go for poll.
Thank you, Mr. Raleigh. We've got a lot of scrutineers and supporters, voters out there, eligible out there, waiting to hear from this press conference when is the exact date. So, can you come up with the exact date so that we can inform the public out there?
On the 8th of July, we will go.
Is it confirmed?
That's confirmed. Com will. On my press conference as an election manager on the ground, to my understanding, we are set for Friday, not tomorrow.
Excuse me, sir, Natalie from ABC. You said you were confident about staging the poll today. Then why were people still being trained last night? Why are things so disorganised?
I've already mentioned my route. I've talked about the process and the efficient to conduct the elections. The date doesn't matter. Date doesn't matter. It's the management of the administration and the process that we need to follow, and then we are set for the elections.
But surely the date is essential, sir, to conducting things fairly and openly and allowing pre-polling checks and allowing observers. Surely the date is essential for that.
Say also, you spoke to NBC News yesterday, just yesterday, and if things were not ready, you should have told our voters in NCD yesterday, rather than last minute change.
That is a set date. Set date on the gazetted date. I therefore said we will go for poll tomorrow. The situation will come up when the situation is on hand. Then that's where I came from media conference. That the situation, the one that we will deal with.
Do you think this will affect the number of people that turn up on the polls on the day, since most of them left work today and they are not voting? So on Friday, if they don't take leave of work, would that affect the number of people that actually go to the polls?
Well, that I will leave it with the management to deal with the hierarchies, to deal with that. But otherwise, our poll is now deferred to Friday because I cannot proceed when the process is not in order.
Say, you keep talking about process.
Yes.
Can you be specific? What exactly is the process that's slowing you down and causing all this delay? What is the process?
Okay, let me highlight. The process that I'm talking about is the distribution of ballot papers to the polling teams. NCD is different from the other parts of the country. Other parts of the country, you talk about votes. NCD, you talk about the vote, and you talk about the locations, and you talk about alpha split. That is lot to do with the alpha split. It needs time to deliver to distribute the ballot papers according to the alpha split. So it's more different than the rest of the country. The rest of the country is easy to identify the ballot papers according to the ward. NCD, you talk about the ward and you talk about the polling locations, and they are in alpha split. That's where you need to concentrate to make sure that your distribution of ballot paper is fair and just according to the polling locations. And that needs enough time for my team to deliver. At the moment, that is the process that is delaying our election because the distribution of ballot papers became a nightmare to my office.
Why was training still being conducted last night, sir? Why wasn't that done earlier?
I'll refer to one of my.
For your question on the training, we tried to have the training, but we never did have the training. We did the time factor. We had time factor involved. It was very late. We still had the scrutineers and the candidates still in the room. Then we had to do a pre-check. So by the time we all agreed in the afternoon, and we were staying up late. We stayed up late the previous day till daybreak, putting on the candidates. Then there was a petition given to the commissioner to reply. So once the petition was given, it was later after 12 in the afternoon. Then we had to agree to continue the process of polling. And by the time everything was agreed on, it was in the evening. Then I had to sort all my officials out. In saying that, I only had a limited time within that time factor till the polls to try to get them trained. But I never did any training last night. When we started the training last night, there was no training last night.
So does the date change require Gazette or how do you place the legality of Gazette when the date change?
Well, as men on the ground, we will observe because of the situation I've mentioned. There are processes that we need to put in order. Administratively, we need to get everything in order. And once we are prepared, we will advise. But the date that I have set is the date that we believe that we are set for Friday to conduct the elections because the training has to be done, the pre-check and the allocation of the ballot papers will also be sorted. By then, we will deal with the scrutineers, make sure that everything is in order, and then we are prepared to deliver the elections for the NCD.
Have the scrutineers and the candidates been informed of the new date for the polling?
After this media conference, we will then advise our stakeholders on this process.
Sir, we've already had, this is now our second delay. You're saying there's administrative problems. You're saying that there were problems with training. It seems that there is widespread disorganisation. Why? What has gone wrong?
Let me see. We are not disorganized. We are not disorganized. We are trying our best to deliver the elections for the NCD. NCD, in the previous elections, have a lot of chaos. I just want to manage these elections with the process and administratively. We will do a showcase for NCD for the rest of the community. Therefore, we need to do it thoroughly, observably, make sure that we manage it properly rather than rushing things coming from outside. We are not disorganized. We are set, but just the process need to place in order before we deliver the elections for that.
I saw the Chief Justice's car outside, sir. I saw the Chief Justice's car outside as I was arriving. Are there legal implications around some of the delays that we're seeing with the election?
I will not answer to that.
Did you consult your lawyers before holding this conference? Because according to the law, the schedule for polling is there. And if you are to make a change, have you consulted the Chief Electoral Commissioner? Are you the one who will give us the date, or the Chief Electoral Commissioner will give us the date?
We have discussed with the commissioner, and that is why I am on the media on this.
Why can't the electoral commissioner come down here and address the press?
I think for the matter of NCD, I as an election manager and a provincial return officer for NCD, I will take that matter on because commissioner has 22 provinces to attend to. Therefore, I will only deliver further information for NCD rather than getting commissioner here to address it. It is my duty as an election manager and the provincial return officer to address my voters.
So the date explained by you is Friday, confirmed?
That is confirmed Friday, 8th of July.
Can we take a few more questions? There will be no further questions because it's got election to prepare. It needs time. True. We're not going to only more time to ask unnecessary questions.
He's right. Stop taking sides and asking us to questions.
Let me say this. He is explaining something here which we don't seem to understand or maybe appreciate. It's time for two days. 2 days of his polling preparation has been taken up by candidates. That's what he's saying. And he could not prepare. His election polling officials, all of these people could not do their work. And he's now asking for 2 days of lost time to prepare himself so that he can conduct polling on Friday. That's what he's saying.
Candidates have raised legitimate concerns, sir, so is it fair to blame them?
Sorry?
I said candidates have raised legitimate concerns, so is it fair to blame them?
I don't blame them. They are part of our stakeholders. I have to attend to them.
But you just said that they were the ones who interrupted this process.
That's the process. Therefore, I have to allow for that 2 days for us to catch up with it.
Say, is it true that what the candidates are claiming, that when the ballot boxes of ballot papers were moved, there were extra boxes that were put for Moresby Northeast? Is that one of those processes and issues that you'll be addressing, because they found anomalies where there were 2 extra boxes there that were not supposed to be in 2 wards?
I think that is only the speculations. The boxes that I received from the Airway was 58 boxes, and those 58 boxes were dealt with, and we have publicly shown to the scrutineers. In that process, the ballot papers were pre-checked, all boxes, they were all in order. So there was a speculation on those 2 boxes. As I speak now, that matter is now over. We are to just deliver the elections. That is in speculations.
I want to add that the candidates have not sorted that matter out with you yet. You have not addressed it. Those things are not
I've said I've already dealt with that case and it's over. We are to deliver the elections.
And you've spoken directly with the candidates to solve their issue.
Minister, what message will you give to the public servants, the business houses and the workers that have closed down for a day, and deferring it to Friday? How can we compensate, or what message can we give to them?
I think there is process. There is process in place. There is process in place. So I will leave it to the management to deal with this process. Likewise, I have a duty to do to deliver to the people of NCD. Sometimes we need to, deliver. It is through the hierarchy. It's not me directing them. The process is there, and if the things do not work out, please, I do not want to rush. I do not want. I want to have the process and the election that will go smooth, fair, and just. Maybe that's all I can appeal to my voters. We will go for poll on Friday.
Sir, we just received some reports that there were some 6,000 ballot papers being found in one of the candidates' in Moresby notice. The candidate is under police custody. Can you confirm, or are you aware of this?
I am not aware of that, therefore I cannot answer that. Maybe you go to the authorities and then get the response. I do not have that.
Didn't you just say that?
Therefore, I'm done now. Any other issues, you raise it to the respective authorities. I only deal with the election process, and that's where I can.
Are you confident of delivering a fair and safe election when you finally go to the polls?
I am confident we will deliver the election for NCD. Ready. We are ready.